All right, you know the drill. I may cuss, but I don't curse. We're going to get that situated first and get into this video. First, I want to say if you haven't watched the Double Slit Astrology series, I advise or recommend to watch that first before you get here, because I may mention some things that pertain to that. I don't want you to feel lost, all right? For those of you who have already watched it, shout out to y'all. And let's get straight into this. I don't think I need any slides for this based upon the slides that I did for that series, all right? So this is titled, Is the Internet a Place? So I had another discussion with AI, right? Listen. And I asked AI, I said, AI, is the internet a place? Right? Because my intention is to parallel it to the dream world, to the 5D, to the wave function, right? So AI responded, no, that the internet is not a place. It says that it's an experimental place, if you will. It's metaphorically, it's a place, but physically, no. I said, okay, cool. But then I asked for a correlation. I continued the conversation. I asked, well, is there a correlation between the internet and the dream world? But first, AI went into some factors describing how the internet is an actual place, but just not a location. So this is what they said. They said it's a place in a way that we go to different places like websites, we go to different platforms, we go to different forums, the same way that we go to a library or a park or a cafe to drink coffee, what have you, right? Also, when it comes to communities, we build communities on the internet by forming like social groups. You know, people got groups all over Facebook and other platforms and stuff like that. Basically building groups that have shared interests. We do that in the physical 3D collapsed particle wave as well, right? And I said, okay. Then it went on to say that developing culture is done on the internet as well. So people have their social norms, which is like unique cultures built in the internet, slang, etiquette, and they have rules like physical places, right? You enter a group, for example, and they be like, well, you can't do this, you can't do this, you can't do that, or you'll get banned, right? Got the same types of rules and regulations in the 3D particle wave. Got you. Then it came down to activities, and it said that the activities take place on the internet too, because we do things. We do things like shop, learn, play games, attend events, and we also work on the internet. Very true, very true. Sounds like a place, right? I'm just saying, but this is AI, you know what I'm saying? This is why I'm coming to the people. I want some humans to chime in on this, you know what I mean? So AI went on to say, in a physical sense, it's a shared public realm that we inhabit and navigate, interact, and where we let ideas flow, despite its lack of physical walls or streets. Now that part right there, despite the lack of physical walls or streets, sounds like the dream world, sort of, right? Because when you're in a dream, there is like streets and buildings and things of that nature, walls, but you can't tangibly confirm that. Well, in a 3D wave, you can't, right? So, like I said, I asked for a correlation, and AI said both are non-physical, boundless places that exist as a reflection of the human mind, but fundamentally differ in ways. It went on to say that it says subconscious mind, which is dreams, rules over subconscious mind rules over dreams, is a place devoid of rules. It combines disparate ideas, people, and memories in a chaotic, non-linear way. The internet too. You can jump from a historical article to a funny video about a cat in a matter of seconds, right? Which is very true. And in a dream, you know, you could be dreaming one thing one minute, and then the next thing you know, you merge into a whole different area, and then the people change, and you got different clothes on and all of that. So very true correlation. They both are a jumbled experience of immense unfiltered information swirling in our heads and in the world. Okay. So then it goes on to say it's a mirror of the self. Our dreams are often said to be a mirror of our subconscious desires, fears, and anxieties. They can show us things about ourselves that we are not consciously aware of. Similarly, the internet, particularly through our search history, social media feeds, and the algorithms that shape our experience, can act as a digital mirror. It reflects our true interests, our biases, and our subconscious curiosities in a way that can be surprisingly revealing. That is also true, because if you notice, right, I've seen a lot of people online say that they've blocked people and they've deleted people from their friends list and stuff like that based upon like political views and religious views and things of that nature. And it's like when you knew these people in person, they wouldn't dare say those things that they've said online. It's like the internet gives a place where people reveal more of their true selves because I guess they feel comfortable not being in front of people like it used to be, like things used to be. So things that would have been kept secret or subconscious, they have now made conscious in the internet. Sobering truth. It also says this: layers of reality. The internet has layers. The surface web we all browse, the deep web of academic and private databases, and the dark web. Similarly, the mind has layers, the conscious thought we are aware of, and the subconscious depths where hidden memories and impulses reside. Remember what I said about hidden memories inside the dream world, right? We came to Earth with these memories. Where was I? In both cases, the experience we have on the surface is only a small fraction of what's truly contained within the space. Facts. Community and isolation, because we haven't collapsed those wave functions into particle functions in the 3D game of life. So community and isolation. Dreams are a deeply personal, isolated experience that happens only within our own minds, yet they are a universal human phenomena that connects us through shared archetypes and emotions. The internet offers a similar paradox. It is the most powerful tool for human connection ever created, allowing us to build global communities. Yet it can also be an incredibly isolating experience where individuals are alone behind a screen, surrounded by billions of people they would never truly know. So that last one right there kind of got me to questioning things. I didn't question AI again, I just left it as it was. But one of the questions I want to say is, do we know everybody in our dreams? No, but we know them when we're in our dreams, right? Countless dreams that I done said on here that I said, yo, I didn't know them here in the 3D world, but in the dream, I knew them. Like, I knew them. We was tight. Like, we was tight. Like, we grew up together. You know what I'm saying? But I never seen their face before in the 3D. The internet is like that, too. Like, you can not know those billions of people that are connected to the internet, but then all of a sudden you get a friend request or somebody inboxes you, and then the next thing you know, y'all kicking in and y'all become friends. So they might want to tweak that one right there. You know what I mean? Now, when they said about isolated behind the screen and it's real lonely and stuff like that, that can be true as well. But at the same time, right, I want you to think about sharing screens, and I want you to think about, what's that thing called? FaceTime, right? Because then we get to actually share a space. It's not a space in the same 3D location, but it's still a space within the internet that we both get to share with each other. Kind of relevant or relatable to dreams that are shared. And although maybe both people are not conscious of that particular dream in the dream, they still participate, right? So it's like going back to the dream that I had about the girl in the particle in the universe, what I called it, the series that I just did. That dream actually took place in the 3D. So although we may have not shared the subconscious experience in the physical 3D collapse version, we did share the experience. You know what I mean? So it's something to think about. It's like I said about allowing people to come into your hologram based upon your structure and what you incentivize them to do for you. You know what I mean? Which I'm gonna get to as well, because I'll wait. Hold that thought though. So I also want to say, do we not use thought transference in both the internet and in our dreams? Because I've mentioned this before in probably one of the Aquarius videos where I said, I got the ability to look at people's pictures or look at a place within that black screen of the phone or the computer, and then the next thing you know, I can dream about being in that place. It's kind of like teleportation, right? So that can occur based upon thought transference. Like I could look at somebody post something and be like, oh man, so remember I said a dream about I went into this woman's house. Well, actually it was a parent's house, come to find out, which I was able to identify off of different posts that they made as well. But I went there, moved some things around, interfered with her sad expression when she was posting online. And then the next thing you know, things changed around for her. Everything went into place. She got married. They're married to this day. You know what I'm saying? I interfered. I participated. and I did something based upon thought transference. Her thought transferred to my thought, and then I got busy. I did some magical shit. I'm just keeping it a bean, and then voila. You know what I'm saying? Now, without the internet, that is possible. I've been doing that before the internet. Like, I've been having these types of dreams and interacting with other people and doing magical shit before I was on the internet like that. And I've mentioned in one of those Aquarius videos that, you know, the internet might be a lazy way for humans to tap into that type of, I don't want to just keep calling it magic, but that type of ability. Let's call it ability, right? Because we can also use thought transference just as human beings. I could close my eyes and meditate, get into hemisync, and then send a message to someone. And it can transfer to them. It can. Somebody get in the comments. I know somebody's done this before. It's not just me and I'm so amazing. No, somebody else has done this before. Get in the comment section when you see this video. And it's you. Right? So, but on the contrary, it could be an amplifier of that as well, because I mentioned that as well. Like, the internet amplifies that ability. For me, I know definitely it amplifies it, because now I can just look and train my thought to enter someone else's thought and into their dreams and, you know, some Freddy type shit. So, boom. I do want to state that. Now, there's some differences between the dream world and the internet. Well, there's layers. This was mentioned by AI, right? The private, dark web and stuff like that. But the dream world is more private. The dream world is more secure than it's ever going to get when it comes to privacy. So public versus private is a thing. And I mention this because potential sabotage can happen when you make things public. So it's like me, like, right, I separate the type of content that I make publicly in contrast to the content that I make for the members, right? Because of the possibility of sabotage. At least if you're a member and you've paid it, if you come to sabotage, then you paid to do it. You know what I'm saying? Because no good deed goes unpunished. I've experienced that term a few times in life to where I was like, oh man. So when I heard it, and every time it happens to me, I'm like, damn, no good deed goes unpunished. No good deed goes unpunished. So I don't expose all of my plans publicly. I don't expose all of my deepest, darkest desires publicly for that reason. Because people can take something that you did well-intentioned or said well-intentioned and flip it and try to, like, do chants and magic on you. You know what I'm saying? To try to sabotage you and stop you from accomplishing your goals. So the internet contrasts differently from the dream world because of that, you know? And I also want to say this. The internet, in contrast to the dream world, 5D wave, is forward thinking. Meaning, so you could, like, post something today online, right? And say, yo, I'm going to do this. You could say, yo, dream home, 2-car garage with my bay, 3-year plan. I'm speaking it into existence. All right, you can post that today. Today is September 13th, 2025. I was about to say 19 something. It's wild, right? Something must be going on in the subconscious. Listen, you can post that online, right? And then, like AI said, you can go over your memories in the algorithm. You know how the memories pop up sometimes. You did this or said this 2 years ago, yada, 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 yada. And what if you actually actualized the same thing that you posted when you said, I'm speaking it into existence? You'd be amazed by it, right? You'd be wowed by it. You might even go as far as backtracking all of the events that led up to that, because it might have just been subconsciously implanted in you to where the floor lit up like Billie Jean and things were just unfolding for you, but you weren't consciously aware of it anymore. Like, yo, I'm going to have a dream home. I'm going to have my bay 2-car garage. And then the next thing you know, you're sitting in the home bay right there. You got the 2 cars outside and you're like, yo, I'm magical. I have the ability to. Oh, wow. Right? So now you hype. But what could happen is, my point here is, on the internet, you can make that post, right? Now it's a public post. People who are your friends, right? They get to see it too. And they're just like, they start eating a banana and they like, yo, I don't like that shit. You know what I'm saying? So they start praying on your downfall, wishing bad on you, projecting all deflecting everything. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, next thing you know, things start messing up. And I don't say that I believe in black magic, because I always feel like I'm guided. You know what I'm saying? I'm spiritually blessed. But, however, I have seen and heard of some things that have been achieved by those types of magicians. The dream world is very much different, very much secure in that aspect, because you can get something in your dreams. That's why I tell y'all, I do not tell all my dreams. I get hints and I get downloads from the universe to say, okay, say that one, say that one. You could say that one, but don't say it in detail. You could do that one, not in detail. Don't mention that name. Don't mention how they look, etc., 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 right? This is to protect people. This is protect and secure yourself as well. You know what I mean? So the internet, the dream world acts in contrast to the internet as far as forward thinking. So what I mean to say by that is like the movie Tenet. I don't know if you've watched it. I know y'all have been hearing me bring it up a lot lately. That's inched up on my top Christopher Nolan films. Wonderful film. So not to ruin it, because I will ruin it for y'all, but things happen in reverse. They kind of like floor lighting up like Billie Jean. Things just fall into this individual's lap as he's on a mission to do what he's coded to do on this earth. But a lot of information is hidden from him. He has to discover it. And the reason being is because of a trust factor. You're not sure who to trust because, like I said, people can interfere and sabotage things when things are made public. So he has the future rewinding into his current day-to-day 3D collapsed particle in that type of way. Things get chaotic, they're wild, but this is how he learns who he is in the future and who he hired to trust, but it's not in his memory. He's not conscious of it now. It's just so dope. It's so dope of a concept, but I get it because it's like goes back to the dream that I had with Shorty that came to the apartment. I'm gonna compare that to another dream that I had, right? So, well, first let me compare it to the internet. Like I said already, with the internet, you can put your plans publicly and then people can interfere, even physically and all of that. You know what I'm saying? And interfere with your plans. In the dream world, they're more secure, they're more under wraps. So I had these two dreams. First was the dream that we spoke about already with Shorty who came to the apartment. Another dream is I had this dream, right, with someone. They was accompanied by somebody else. I know both of them. I know both of them well. And it was in a lavish experience. It was like in a lavish place with a lavish amenities and things of that nature. Sort of like the other dream that I said about this girl that the dream that I had with this girl not too long ago, with the swimming pool and a smart home with the beach outside and all of that. Similar to that, right? And the person was very happy or ecstatic, even though they didn't like they weren't showing teeth. I could see them smiling, you know what I'm saying? And so was the person that was accompanying them. At first I wasn't in the picture, but I was just watching them from afar. And then when I stepped into the picture, I looked how they was dressed. They was dressed to the T, sharp, you know what I'm saying? And then I stepped into the picture, I was able to see myself. I too was dressed very sharp. And when I tell you this was like a lavish, it's not far-fetched, you know what I'm saying? I could see me being in this type of position. But I also identified it as being something that was more future-oriented at the time that I had this dream. Now, what happened is me and that person fell out. The relationship is no more. It's something that can't be salvaged. It can't be repaired. So it happened because of their impatience, and it happened because of my patience for both. Because that's the type of individual. Y'all got people like this in your life that they'd be like, you could be like this. You could have been this. You should have been this. Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? If you would just do this more and do this better, then you would have more and you would do better and things of that nature. That person is one of those people. Not only that, they act like they're entitled and they don't have to do anything to earn that title. You understand what I'm saying? So they have that, both of those things going for themselves. However, we were I don't even want to say tight. But yeah, I guess you could say that. You know what I'm saying? But it doesn't even matter anymore. Well, it still matters. And I tell you, this is the point, because although everything was lavish around me and they seemed to be happy, I know I was happy because I could see that actually happening, and it looked like business was definitely booming. You understand what I'm saying? So, although it was that way, that person could not be trusted. And I don't even know if the same thing goes for the other person that was accompanying them. I don't know that, but I know that for them. In contrast to the dream that I had with Shorty that came to the apartment, we also had a falling out over some dumb shit. I'm talking about some real dumb shit. But me and her are both the type of people that is just like, oh, well, if you ain't talking to me, I ain't talking to you. It'll be February 1st before we talk again. We're both like that. You know what I'm saying? Until one cracks. She actually cracked lately. Which is a good thing, though, because it's dumb shit. It's dumb. You know what I'm saying? But because I ain't get no closure, no clarity on it, nah, you're not going to do me like that. I'm not going to keep reaching out to you when you know what I want to talk about, but you keep avoiding that confrontation. It could have been settled, you know what I mean? But they did reach out and they said, what's up, yo, water under the bridge, fuck that shit. Cool. That's where we at right now. I don't know what's going to happen after that. But my point of bringing her back up is this. I had the dream about her first, right? And then when it collapsed in a 3D particle, the same way that me and that other person that had a falling out collapsed in a 3D particle, she is trustworthy. She came to do the job. We did the job that day successfully. So it's like, if I called that person right now, I guarantee you, even if she didn't reach out a little while ago to me first, I guarantee you that if I called her and was like, yo, I need you. Like, I need you for something. Like, I need you for this for real. It might get brought up. We might argue, whatever. But I guarantee you, she would have came. She would have did it. She would have found a way to do it for me. That's the type of person she is. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to work, she's with it. She's with earning her title. She's with earning her way. In contrast to the other individual who behaved with the entitlement thing, couldn't be trusted. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like the movie Tenet. Really like the movie Tenet. Great film. Y'all should watch it if y'all haven't watched it by now. It's going to be confusing as fuck the first 3 times you watch it. You're going to have to watch it more than once. You have to. Or you're going to be like, what the fuck is happening? Unless you cheat and like go to YouTube and look for the rabbit hole shit and stuff like that. I don't do that until after I watch movies. But yeah, that's all I wanted to speak about for now. I don't know where this goes from here, but this was my current thought process, so I felt like I should speak it to y'all. Until next time, I'm out.